12 years ago, I thought I had everything. I was 25 years old, worked as a mechanic in my dad's garage, made $42,000 a year before taxes, lived in a tiny rented apartment with water stains on the ceiling. But I had Caitlin, my wife of 2 years, the most beautiful woman I'd ever seen. And I had Jake, our son, born 9 months after our wedding, blonde hair, blue eyes, the perfect little boy. Every night I came home covered in grease and sweat, and he would run down the hallway screaming, "Daddy's home!" I'd pick him up, spin him around, and for those few minutes, the world made sense. Less than greater than I was there the day he was born. Held Caitlin's hand for 18 hours of labor. Cut the cord myself. Cried like a baby when they put him in my arms. I worked double shifts to pay for his daycare. Missed birthdays to buy him Christmas presents. Taught him how to throw a baseball in the parking lot because we couldn't afford a backyard. He was my entire world, and for 12 years, I never questioned it. Not once. Until the day of Caitlin's 30th birthday party. Less than greater than, we threw her a surprise party, big backyard barbecue, 80 people, bouncy castle for the kids, live band. I spent 6 months saving for it. I even bought her the exact necklace she'd been hinting at for 2 years. White gold, little diamond heart, $4,200 at 8:47 p.m., right after we sang Happy Birthday. I stood up in front of everyone with a microphone and said I had one more surprise. I pulled out an envelope. Inside was a DNA test, 23andMe, the one I did for fun 6 months earlier when Jake asked about his heritage for a school project. I had never looked at the raw data until 3 nights ago. The results showed Jake was 0% related to me, but 49.8% related to my best friend Ryan. The same Ryan who was standing 10 feet away, holding a beer, smiling like nothing was wrong. Less than greater than I looked at Caitlin. Her face went white. I looked at Ryan. He dropped his beer. I looked at Jake, my perfect little boy, who was now staring at me with confusion in his eyes. And in that moment, in front of 80 people, on my wife's 30th birthday, I spoke the words that ended my old life forever. Caitlin, Ryan, Jake is not my son. He's Ryan's. And I've known for 3 days. Less than greater than, that was just the beginning. 12 years. That's how long I lived a lie. Let me take you back to the beginning, so you understand exactly why this revenge had to be perfect. I was 23 when I met Caitlin. She was 21. Waitress at the diner across from the garage. Blonde hair, green eyes, smile that could stop traffic. We started dating 3 weeks after we met. 6 months later, I proposed with a $900 ring I paid off over 18 months. We got married at the courthouse. Couldn't afford anything else. 9 months later, Jake was born. I was there for everything. The 3 a.m. feedings, the first steps, the first words. Dada. He said it to me. I worked 80-hour weeks so Caitlin could stay home. Missed my own father's funeral because I couldn't afford to lose the overtime. When Jake was 4, I taught him to ride a bike in the alley behind our apartment. When he was 6, I coached his little league team. When he was 8, I sat up all night with him when he had 104 fever. Every Christmas, I worked Christmas Eve double shift so he could have the PlayStation he wanted. Every birthday, I built the cake myself because we couldn't afford the bakery. I have 4,382 photos of him on my phone, every single one I took. Less than, greater than, and for 12 years. I never suspected. Not once. Because why would I? Ryan was my best friend since kindergarten. We grew up together. He was Jake's godfather. He came to every birthday party, brought the best presents, always had money for some reason. Caitlin said he just did well in sales. I believed her. I believed everything. Until that DNA test. 3 nights before the party, I was sitting in my truck outside the garage after a 14-hour shift, reading the raw 23andMe data on my phone, line by line. Halfway down the page, it said, closest relative match, Ryan Mitchell, 49.8% DNA shared. Parent-child relationship. I stared at that screen for 47 minutes. Then I went home. Caitlin was asleep. I sat on the edge of our bed, looked at her perfect face, and for the first time in 12 years, I saw the truth. The late nights she said she was with the girls, the way Ryan always knew when I was working late, the way Jake had Ryan's exact same cowlick in his hair, and the same dimple in his left cheek. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just closed the app, went to the garage, and started planning. Because in that moment, I stopped being a husband. I stopped being a father. I became something else. A man with nothing left to lose, and 12 years of love to weaponize. Less than, greater than. For the next 7 days, I pretended everything was normal. I smiled at breakfast. I kissed her goodbye. I told Jake I loved him. While behind the scenes, I hired the best private investigator money could buy. I pulled every bank record, every text message, every hotel receipt. And what I found was worse than I ever imagined. They didn't have one affair. They never stopped. Jake wasn't the only child. There were 2 more pregnancies, both terminated quietly while I was working double shifts to pay for our perfect little family. Less than, greater than. That was the moment I decided. This wouldn't be quick. This wouldn't be loud. This would be 12 years in the making and executed on the exact day she turned 30. In front of everyone she ever loved. 7 days. That's how long I had to turn Caitlin's 30th birthday into the worst day of her life. Day 1, I booked the biggest backyard venue in town. $28,000. Told her it was a surprise from all her friends. She cried happy tears. Day 2. I hired the most expensive caterer, live band, photographer, bartender. Total cost, $41,000. Told her, "The whole town wants to celebrate you, babe." She posted about it on Instagram every hour. Day 3, I ordered a custom 6-tier cake with real gold leaf. $6,200. Had it shaped like the exact wedding cake we never got to cut 12 years ago. Day 4, I rented a 40-foot LED screen and professional projector. Told the party planner it was for a special slideshow of Caitlin's life. She screamed with excitement. Day 5. I paid a private courier $10,000 cash to fly to 3 different states and personally deliver handwritten invitations to every single person Caitlin or Ryan had ever hurt, lied to, or bragged in front of, including Ryan's ex-wife, Caitlin's old high school enemies, and the entire garage crew I used to work with. Day 6, I bought the necklace. White gold, diamond heart. $4,200. Exactly the one she'd been dropping hints about for 2 years. Day 7, the party day. 8 a.m. I kissed Caitlin goodbye, told her I had to work a half day but would be back by 4 p.m. She believed me. 12 p.m. 80 guests arrived. Ryan was already there, helping set up, wearing the same smug smile he'd had for 12 years. 4 p.m. I walked in wearing the same suit I wore to our courthouse wedding, carrying a small gift box. Caitlin ran to me, hugged me, kissed me in front of everyone. She had no idea. 7:30 p.m. cake time. Everyone gathered around, phones out. Ryan holding Jake on his shoulders like the proud uncle. I took the microphone. Before we sing happy birthday, I have one more surprise for the woman I love. I opened the gift box. Inside, the necklace and a folded piece of paper. I put the necklace around her neck in front of everyone. Then I unfolded the paper. It was the 23andMe DNA report. I held it up so the LED screen behind me could project it in 40-foot letters. 12 years ago, Caitlin gave birth to our son Jake. I raised him. I loved him. I paid for everything. Tonight, I found out the truth. Jake is not my son. He is Ryan's. Less than greater than Ryan tried to run. My security, 4 off-duty Marines I hired for party security, blocked every exit. Caitlin's face collapsed. She knew. She had always known. I pressed play on the projector. A 47-second montage began. Text messages between Caitlin and Ryan from 12 years ago. He'll never find out. We'll just say the baby looks like your side of the family. -- hotel receipts, -- ultrasound photos Ryan had saved, -- a voice recording of Caitlin laughing. He's so stupid, he actually thinks it's his. The entire backyard went dead silent. Then the screaming started. Caitlin fell to her knees in her $8,000 dress. Ryan tried to fight the security, got put in an arm bar. Jake, my beautiful boy, started crying, asking why everyone was mad at Mommy. I looked at Caitlin one last time. Happy 30th birthday, babe. The party's over. And so are we. I walked away. The DJ cut the music. The caterers started packing up. The guests left in silence. By 8:14 p.m., the backyard was empty except for Caitlin on her knees in the grass, and Ryan pinned against the fence. Less than greater than, that was just the first 47 seconds of the revenge. The party was only the opening shot. The real war lasted exactly 30 days. Day 1, I filed for divorce at 8 a.m. the next morning. Grounds, adultery plus fraud. Served her at 9:17. She was still wearing the diamond necklace. Day 2, I froze every joint account. All $187,000 in savings. Gone. Day 3. I changed the locks on the house. It was in my name only. Her stuff went into 11 black trash bags on the porch, with a note, "You have 24 hours. Day 4. I terminated her access to my health insurance. Jake's, too. Ryan's insurance never existed. Day 5. I contacted every parent from Jake's private school, sent them the DNA report plus the 47-second video. By noon, Jake was expelled. Morality clause. Day 7. I bought the company Ryan worked for, mid-size logistics firm. 51% controlling interest. Cash. Closed in 6 days. Day 8. Ryan was fired at 9 a.m. Severance, $0. Non-compete, 10 years. Day 10. I foreclosed on the $1.4 million mortgage on their dream house, the one they bought with money they thought was safe. They had 14 days to vacate. Day 14, I sued for 12 years of child support plus fraud plus emotional distress, filed in 3 states, total claim $4.8 million. Day 17. Caitlin tried the I was young and stupid interview on local news. I bought 30 minutes of airtime right after her segment, played the full 47-second video plus 12 years of text messages. Unedited. Ratings. Highest in station history. Day 20. Their cars were repossessed, both leased in my name. Old joint credit they forgot about. Day 23. I bought the venue where they planned to renew vows next year. Turned it into a battered women's shelter. Day 26. Ryan's parents cut them off. Caitlin's mother stopped taking her calls. Even their dog ran away. Day 29. They tried to disappear, rented a U-Haul, headed for Canada. I owned the only bridge out of town, private toll road. Security stopped them, turned them back. Day 30. The final blow. Exactly 30 days after the party at 8:47 p.m., the exact minute I revealed the DNA test, a black Suburban pulled up to the motel they were hiding in. My lawyer got out, handed them one folder. Inside, final divorce decree. Judgment for $4.8 million. Custody. I retained sole legal custody of Jake. DNA doesn't override 12 years of being dad in court. 1 bus ticket each to a town 900 miles away. A check for $47, $1 for every minute of the video that destroyed them. And 1 handwritten letter. 12 years ago, you gave birth to another man's child and let me raise him. Today took back 12 years of my life with interest. You will never see Jake again. You will never speak my name again. You are dead to us. Enjoy the rest of your lives. The man who paid for everything and got nothing in return, less than greater than. They took the bus. They live in a one-bedroom trailer now. Ryan works third shift at a warehouse. Caitlin cleans offices at night. Jake lives with me. He calls me Dad. Always will. 30 days. 12 years in the making. 12 years have passed since Caitlin's 30th birthday party. Ryan and Caitlin no longer exist in any world that matters. They live in a small town in northern Missouri. Population, 887. One gas station. One bar that closes at 9 p.m. Ryan works the graveyard shift at a frozen food warehouse. $15.40 an hour. He loads trucks in minus 20-degree freezers. His fingers are permanently damaged from frostbite. He hasn't had a day off in 3 years. Caitlin cleans offices for a janitorial service, $14 an hour. She starts at 11 p.m., finishes at 7 a.m., sleeps on a mattress on the floor because they can't afford a bed frame. They rent a 720-square-foot trailer. Rent, $620 a month. The toilet only flushes if you hold the handle exactly 7 seconds. They have 2 more children now, born after the divorce. Neither has ever met Jake. Their oldest daughter, from Ryan, is 19. She moved out at 17, changed her last name, hasn't spoken to them in 2 years. Every year on Caitlin's birthday, the same day the party happened, a plain white envelope arrives at the trailer park office. No return address. Inside, one photograph of Jake at his latest birthday party. Private yacht. 50 friends. Live band. One photograph of me and my new family in front of the house that used to be theirs. One printed line. Some birthdays only happen once. Yours ended 12 years ago. They stopped picking up the envelopes 5 years ago. The park manager just throws them away now. Less than greater than. Their names are poison online. Search Caitlin and Ryan 30th birthday party, and the top result is still the 47-second video. 28 million views and counting. Ryan's mother died last year. Refused to see him on her deathbed. Caitlin's father won't answer the door when they visit. They are ghosts. Walking reminders of what happens when you build your life on someone else's pain. That's where they are now. And that's where they will stay. Forever. Today I am 42 years old. Net worth, $1.61 billion and still climbing. I own 58 companies on 3 continents, the largest network of trade schools for single fathers in the United States, a private island in the British Virgin Islands, and a foundation that has paid college tuition for 4,200 children of betrayed parents. But none of those numbers matter when I walk through the front door at 6:30 p.m. Because the first thing I hear is, "Daddy's home." Jake, now 18 years old, 6 feet 3 inches, starting quarterback, full ride to Alabama, still runs down the hallway and hugs me like he did when he was 4. He knows the truth. We told him together when he was 14. He cried for 3 days. Then he looked at me and said, "You're still my dad. Biology is just noise." He still calls me Dad. Always will. Less than greater than the woman who made this life possible is named Dr. Sophia Morales, pediatric cardiologist, former Army flight surgeon, 2 Bronze Stars, the strongest human being I've ever met. We met 4 years ago when I anonymously funded a new children's heart wing at her hospital. She hunted me down, walked into my office unannounced, and said, "I don't know who you are, but you just saved 400 kids a year. I'm buying you dinner and you're not allowed to say no." 6 months later, she moved in. 1 year later, we got married on the same date Caitlin's party happened. Only this time, the bride showed up. We have 3 more children together. Isabella, 8 years old, already speaks 4 languages. Mateo and Luca, 5-year-old twins. Absolute chaos. My daily reminder that joy can be louder than pain. Every morning I wake up in the house that used to belong to Caitlin and Ryan. We bought it at auction for pennies after the bank foreclosed, turned their dream kitchen into a homework room for foster kids, turned their infinity pool into a therapy pool for children with disabilities. Jake's bedroom is the same one he grew up in. Only now the walls are covered with his college offers instead of the lies they told him. Less than greater than every Sunday, we have family council, all 6 kids at the table. We talk about money, feelings, goals, mistakes. I teach them one rule I learned the hardest way. Never let someone's worst day define your best life. Every Christmas, we fly 200 kids from the foundation to the island for a week. Jake is the camp counselor. He tells them his story. They cry, then they smile, because they understand. If even he could survive betrayal, so can they. That's my life now. Not revenge. Restoration. I didn't just take back the years they stole. I multiplied them and gave them to people who actually deserved them. Every year, on the exact date and minute of Caitlin's 30th birthday party, August 14th at 8:47 p.m., I do one last thing. I walk alone to the end of our private pier, the same spot where the birthday fireworks once exploded above their heads while their world was collapsing. I sit on the edge, feet in the water, and I open a small cedar box I built with Jake when he was 9. Inside are 4 things. 1. The original diamond necklace I put around Caitlin's neck that night. 2. The 23andMe envelope that started it all. 3. The microphone I used to expose them. 4. One sealed envelope. White, heavy paper, my handwriting. Every year I write a new letter, by hand, no copies. This is the letter I wrote and mailed last month, word for word. Caitlin and Ryan, 12 more years have passed. You are still breathing. I am still living. You count pennies in a trailer park. My children learn on yachts and in classrooms named after them. You hide from the world. The world celebrates my name. Your story is a warning. My story is a promise. This is the last letter you will ever receive from me. There will be no more photographs, no more reminders, no more envelopes. I am removing you from my universe completely. Not out of hate, not out of pity, but because you no longer deserve even the microscopic space you once occupied in the back of my mind. You are footnotes in a book that has already been written, published, and become a bestseller without you in it. Live whatever is left of your lives. I have already lived the one I was meant to. The boy you lied to for 12 years is now a man who calls me Dad and will never know your names. Thank you for teaching me what real family is by showing me what it is not. Goodbye forever. Ethan Carter, the father you never were, and the man you never saw coming. Less than greater than. I sealed the envelope, walked to the end of the pier, lit a single match, watched the flame crawl up the paper until it kissed my fingers. Then I let the ashes fall into the ocean, one by one, until nothing remained. Less than greater. Then that was the last time their names were ever spoken in my house. So if you stayed until the very last second of this 70-minute story, and someone once betrayed you, lied to you, stole 12 years of your life, made you raise a child that wasn't yours, remember this. The pain they gave you was just the tuition for the greatest life you will ever live. You don't need to destroy them. You just need to become so undeniable that one day they wake up and realize the biggest mistake they ever made was thinking you would stay broken. Thank you for staying until the very end.